Tennessee's mental toughness has certainly been tested here in the final weeks of December, from the sudden departure of Cam Carr, a tough game against Middle Tennessee, and that bullseye on their back with that #1 ranking. Tennessee more than needed this 4-day break, but someone who probably took most advantage of the break was Igor Milicic, who happened to experience his first American Christmas with JP Estrella up in Maine, and it'll be his favorite part that will surprise you, and we'll get to that later. I'm Paige Dower. This is the Field Pass on Full Disclosure. Middle Tennessee gave the Vols about all they could handle, especially from number 24, Cameron Weston, being one of the best guards the team has faced this season, and as Justin Gainey will say, one of the best guards he's seen in recent years. But it's what happened in the locker room at halftime where they had this feeling that they had not experienced this season, that he felt really confident in the types of conversations and demeanor of this team to tell him that they're a mentally strong and mentally focused team, and that what's going on in Middle Tennessee shouldn't worry them too much. But where they believe they had a lot of great experience is having that #1 ranking by their name for much of the season, putting an even larger bullseye on their back. And Justin Gainey will say that this is a great experience, especially for the new guys like Igor Milicic or Chaz Lanier, who's not played under that type of pressure before. But if you ask Igor Milicic, he'll say that hasn't really affected them too much, but teams can certainly try.
They can try, but we're gonna play our game. It don't matter what number we have next to the Tennessee on the TV. It don't matter.
And regardless of what teams might try to do on the court to hand Tennessee its first loss of the season, it's what they do on the practice court that makes the biggest difference, and right now is one of the bigger challenges. After that sudden departure of Cameron Carr and injured JP Estrella, they have 9 active scholarship players on the team. But if you know Rick Barnes and you follow this team for a long time, he has a unique way of still getting the same standard and effort out of his team, and that's exactly what he's been doing. Regardless of who's out here, whether you're utilizing more of your practice players, your scouting team, he will require the same standard, and that's exactly what Coach Justin Gainey said.
We hated to see Cam leave. Nothing changes with us from a preparation standpoint, from a practice standpoint.
Now, before Tennessee can turn its attention to SEC play, they have one more non-conference date, and it'll come against 10-6 Norfolk State. And this is a team that has NCAA experience. They're coming off a solid win over High Point University, and this is a team that they also met at the very end of 2024 a year ago. And they'll certainly give Tennessee a challenge when they meet tomorrow afternoon. But as you can see, the team behind me, they're getting in one more practice before they get ready for game day tomorrow. And then lastly, Igor Milicic, he stayed in the States for Christmas to experience his first American Christmas, and he did so while going to Maine with JP Estrella. And he said that, the experience was kind of unique. He couldn't really even put it into words about what made the American Christmas different than what he's experienced before. But when he was asked about what his favorite part was, well, you just have to hear it from him.
Favorite part? Stockings. I never had stockings. Yeah.
Now, he said it did snow, but there was no sledding involved, which is probably a smart thing to do. But the team getting to practice currently right now, and we will have much more coming up later today, and then especially tomorrow as they take on Norfolk State, their last non-conference game before SEC play starts in the new year. But make sure you're subscribed and tuned in, and we will be back tomorrow.